The other thing you were telling me about, and it was a wonderful story about the San Simon Cattle Company and how they operated and how they worked in the valley here. Can you explain that?
Well, all the big outfits worked more or less the same. They'd have 15 or 16 cowboys and lots of horses. They had a wrangler for the horses and a nighthawk that stayed with the horses. And the wagon, the chuck wagon, and usually a hoodlum wagon that was a trailer hooked onto the chuck wagon. And the San Simon had a Chinese cook. And they'd start down on the south end that they joined Slaughter's outfit down there. The divide between the San Simon Valley and the San Bernardino Valley. That was the divide between the two ranches. And they'd start working north and make a circle every day. The boss would drop off cowboys all along, and they'd drive to a certain point they called a hold-up ground, where they'd work the cattle. They'd have several ropers going in and dragging calves out to Brandon Fire, and several sets of muggers throwing the calves, and one guy with the irons and another one with a knife, cutting the calves and earmarking them. And then they would cut the shipping cattle, whatever they were going to ship that year, 2-year-old steers usually, and they'd put them in another cut with several men holding that cut. And when they got through working all the cattle, they'd push the cows and calves on back behind them, kind of, and then hold that cut of shipping cattle, and they had to night herd them and take them with them the next day and do it all over again till they got to San Simon where they shipped.
So they brought them all the way down from Slaughter Ranch, some of them all the way up to San Simon before they shipped them.
Yeah, that was, in the early days, that was the only shipping point in the country was San Simon.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how many heads of cattle you're talking about? Just curious.
I heard at one time they had a holdup at the Seneca of 12,000 head. Of course, they had more cattle than that, but that's an awful big herd of cattle to work.
Yeah. And they're all just feeding on the native natural grasses.
Oh, yeah. They had bought little parcels of ground around 40-acre parcels that they would put a well and a barn and some corrals on. And there was the headquarters was right over here on Sulphur Road. That was the headquarters for
When you
that.
say the headquarters, what was there? What made it there?
There was a house there and a well. I've got a picture of the house with my grandmother and granddad there at the headquarters. My granddad worked a lot for they called it the H's.
The what?
The H's, that's what they branded was 7HH. 7 on the shoulder, H on the ribs, H on the hip. I've got one of the old H. Brandon irons.
Wow.
But anyway, then they'd work the Valencias and the Chiricahuas. There was cattle everywhere. And pretty much only natural waters, except where they had a well on one of their camps. They was what they call the horse camp down there near this side of Apache, and the junction down here in North Rodeo, and a camp at the Seneca, and then another one at San Simon. That's where they'd near a hold-up ground.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. And do you have any idea how many people would be working on that? And how long would it take them to go from Slaughter Ranch to work all the way to San Simon?
Well, it'd take them up to several months.
Yeah. And how many people? Any idea? On how
Probably 15 or 16 cowboys and a cook and a couple of wranglers and
And was it pretty good money? Did they get
$30 a month.
$30? And was that pretty good money in the day?
Well,
It was okay.
average, I guess.
Yeah.
Nowhere to spend their money.
Yeah. 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 And it was cash.
Yeah, until they got to San Simon.
What was San Simon like? Do you have any memories of that back then?
Well, I think at that time it was a pretty good town. It was the first stop on the railroad from Deming, no, from Lordsburg, I guess, and then Wilcox. And Wilcox was another big shipping point. A lot of cattle out of the Sulphur Springs Valley.
And then, so did the railroad, because when you were working here, if I remember right, you could take cattle down to Rodeo.
Yeah.
So that came later.
1902, I think, the railroad came through and Rodeo was started because of the railroad.
Yeah.
And
then did people start shipping cattle out of Rodeo?
yeah.
Because it's closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. You know any, I'm just curious, you know any history on the Cienega Ranch?
The old Parson Kenneth settled there. He and Reed, up where the research station is, were the first settlers in this area. And then he had, I don't remember how many kids was in that family, but they were all around here for quite a while. And one of the daughters, Ola, I believe her name was, married those, the guys that started the Stewarts, that started the Stewart brothers, that started the AVA ranch up there where Trawler is. She married one of them and he died, and she married the other one and he died, and she married their lawyer and he died. But they were a big, prominent family around here. There's a lot of stories about them.
You told me the other day you were gone for a while because there wasn't work. Was the area different when you and your wife came back after you'd been gone for a while?
Yeah, it was. It was changing. Portal had been discovered, and a lot of people coming in at that time. These ranchers ranches had been split up into these 40-acre parcels, and they were being sold and built on, some of them.
What year about was that you guys came back?
1989.
89, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was more people and the ranches were getting sold, and
Yeah.
was that kind of hard to see for you?
Yeah. For one thing, there was a lot of people like yourself that come in from back east that didn't understand this, the people here, and what had gone on in the past. How come there's deeded land for you to buy? Because somebody roughed it out for years to get a patent on a piece of land. Otherwise, this would all be government land. And a lot of the people that came from back east wanted to make it just like it was where they left.
Meaning what?
Meaning they tried to get a county plan to tell you what color you could paint your damn house. My grandparents homesteaded right over there, 100 yards from here, in tents. And one of their tents that their beds were in burned down, burned all their clothes and their bedding. Now that's the kind of stuff, and you had to go to Douglas or somewhere to get groceries in a wagon.
And then how did how would money would be hard.
Well, you worked for the San Simon, or you didn't work, or one of the mines.
Yeah, so.
And a lot of people, well, I think they don't care really, knowing this. I don't think a lot of the people that come here care, because they've discovered Portal.
Right.
And so many of them think that I'm here, shut the gate.
Say that again?
I'm here, shut the gate. Don't let nobody else come in. That's why that San Simon Road is not paved. When they moved the school from Portal to San Simon, that road was supposed to be paved. So many of the people didn't want it paved because it would bring more people in. You know, people went through all kinds of hardships to settle this country. This is a hard country. This is not an easy country. This is a hard country. But one thing is our weather. The rain or no rain. And a lot of times there's no rain. And if you've got cattle and there's no rain and no feed, you either got to sell cattle or watch them die, or buy. Now they buy feed. One of the things that's helped the ranchers a lot is these submersible pumps, because you can pump water a long ways, 2 or 3 miles, with one submersible pump. You see these big tan tanks scattered around? Well, it's being pumped into that tank from somewhere.
Were there years that that it was really dry, there was no rain, and what happened during those years?
In the 50s was really, really dry. We had a little feed on the mountain, but no water. And I haul water up there to the foot of the mountain for 9 months, every day.
How did you haul it?
I had a tank on a trailer.
Were there times that did people just leave or have to find other work because it was so dry that they couldn't make a living?
Yeah. Back I don't know what year it would have been, in the 20s, I think, early 20s. They had a bad drought, and the San Simon lost a lot of cattle. They didn't disband. What happened with the San Simon was that the homesteaders came in. And this valley, the biggest portion of it was all homesteaded. And so the San Simon didn't, all they had was these little deeded pieces. They were just using it. It was open range. And the first homesteads were 160 acres. And you can't make it here on 160 acres. So in the West, they upped that to a section 640 acres. So my granddad's first homestead here was 160. And my dad homesteaded next to him 640 acres, and my great-granddad homesteaded 640. And then they bought these other later homesteads that were 640 acres.
Were the Darnells the next ranch down from you guys?
Yeah. Bert Roberts had a place between us and the Darnells. Guy and Audrey Miller lived up there where Louis Pope lives and worked for Guy, or for Bert. Bert had a place up the valley, and then he had this place, and then he bought that place where Kim Murphy, the Reed, or the Bush, or the John Hands place, whatever you want to call it. Our place, and later on Bert's, but the Darnell got sold out, and that's where all these 40-acre parcels came from. 3 different ranches.
What did you do when you came back, you and your wife?
I started a propane business in Portal. And then I sold it to Bill Walter and went to work for Riders down here at San Simon.
What kind of work was that?
Ranch work, cowboy.
So you did that most of your life then?
Yeah, when I was in Missouri, I had my own cattle down there. So I've been around cows all my life.
Did you do that? Weren't you in California, Jim?
Yeah, I worked in a feedlot at Brawley.
So you have been around cows all your life.
Yeah. I worked at a couple of feedlots over west of Casa Grande, different ranches around.
Did your wife work during that time, or is she still?
She would find her a job. You could put her anywhere and she'd find work. She always worked, yeah. Her last job, she was secretary bookkeeper up here at the research station for 12 years. She's been a teller in a bank. She worked for an attorney down there in Missouri. She started computers when you had to type in commands. She was a good wife, a good partner to me. I couldn't ask anybody be any better than she was. She was a good person. Very rarely ever heard her say anything bad about anybody.
Tell me about when you first met.
Well, we met at a dance over at Animas. I danced with her several times and then took her home
Where was she living at the time?
at Cotton City.
So
Her
she,
dad was a cotton farmer at Cotton City.
did you spend some time when you were courting her? Did you go ride over to Cotton City and
Oh
visit?
yeah, I was over there every chance I got.
Sure you were. Uh, how long did you know each other before you decided to get married?
Oh, after she got out of high school, she went 1 year to business college in Albuquerque, and right after that we got married.
And then that's when, if I remember right, you moved up into Portal.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody had lived in that house for quite a while, and I did some painting and repair work, and then when we came back from Missouri, I did a lot of work on the house and drilled a new well.
And how long have you guys been married?
60 years.
This year, in 20.
Yeah, we were married in 1958.
There you go, 60 years.
Yeah.
When's your anniversary? I don't know.
May the 31st. We had our ups and downs, lost our only son, and I think that pulled us closer together. I think we were closer after that. We needed each other, I guess.